I've been seeing this term called toxic positivity. Could you please help me understand what really is toxic positivity?
Yeah, FQ. It's interesting because I've been noticing this as well, and it's something that I have actually referred to as poisonous positivity. And really, toxic positivity can best be described as an unrealistic reliance on the power of positive thinking. Basically, kind of that there's a presupposition that there's a bright side to every situation, and that inspirational words or platitudes are the magic pill necessary, to cheer someone up or to actually bring levity to a situation. So in many ways, the interesting thing with people that are overly positive in many ways is they end up becoming, it's almost very annoying to the person on the receiving end because it seems very inauthentic. And at times, tell somebody, oh, just look at the bright side, like as if I didn't know that. So now we've crossed over into kind of a condescension, and as soon as you do that, as soon as somebody feels like you're condescending to them, I mean, it's, you're done.
So what you're saying is there is a bright side to everything, there is a flip side to everything, but are you suggesting that why is it condescending? I mean, or are you saying that the other person is not in a position to see that?
Well, I think it can come across as condescending. I think positivity comes from a very well-intentioned person. I think it's just that it's not based in reality. So, and I've said this before, is I think that really what we look at and what's more important is a process of pragmatic positive thinking where it's still based in reality instead of, I've heard this many times when somebody loses a loved one, they say, oh, God needed them more. Well, God doesn't need us in the first place. So it seems very, I understand people are well-intentioned and they're trying to say something nice and to comfort someone. It's just simply that, yes, there is a bright side if you choose to look at it. However, instead of a bright or a dark side, I think in many cases things are more neutral than we like to give them credit for. Because if something's neutral, well, now we can't feel as strongly one way or another to it. So the positive person, sometimes it's just better to not say anything than to try to offer words of wisdom or encouragement. Sometimes nothing more than a hand on a shoulder or simply a comment saying, hey, you know what, I don't have anything good to say right now. I certainly don't have anything at all to add value. Let me know how I can best support you. And now we're putting it back on them for them to tell us how to be helped.
So before you offer positivity to somebody who's going through adversity,
Yeah.
it could be a lost relationship, lost person, lost business, lost whatever, they're going through adversity in life, you have to see at what point in the grief they are. Are they really ready to see the positive side? Am I understanding it right? That before you go and offer them, positivity from where you're standing, I mean, you're obviously an outsider. So before you go and tell them to be positive, you have to let people grieve, or you have to let people get out of that initial phase before they can actually see that positivity. And that would be pragmatism?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the pragmatic piece is looking at this from a realistic standpoint. And the example I give, and I know that there will be people that don't agree with me on this, but what I believe is that, so if somebody is diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer, sitting there having positive thoughts, and I'm not going to take away, a miracle happening or anything like that. I'm just saying from a practical approach, keeping a positive mindset while you're going through standard cancer treatment, that is helpful because the positive thinking part of this really comes along with action. So you still have to take action to sit there and go, oh, you know what? I'm just going to think away my disease. I mean, that just doesn't really set well with me. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
So there's one positivity that you're offering to other people, but as you touched rightly so, you cannot be overly positive or blindly positive about your own situation as well. That could be toxic, poisonous, and highly detrimental to your situation.
Absolutely.
I mean, like if you're driving at 200 miles an hour and assume everything's going to be all right. No, it's not going to be all right. I mean, I've seen people, when you travel around the world, there are countries where laws aren't really enforced, and you see people driving with babies in the lap, and you're just driving away, and you're like, what the hell are you doing? He said, no, I'm driving safely. You're not. Accidents happen because accidents happen, and accidents are called accidents because they happen when you least expect them. Otherwise they would be intentional. So you're doing things which are not guaranteeing a positive outcome. Yet you're saying, oh, everything's going to be all right, it's okay, I don't have to do anything about it, and everything will turn out to be okay. I think that is severely toxic and detrimental as well.
Yeah.
So one, yes, I agree, when you're offering positivity to the other person in adversity, that is, not always right. And if in your own situation, if you're just applying the rule of positivity or positive thinking, that alone is not going to take away. If there's a bear outside your window, you can think all the positive you want. He's not going to go and eat something,
Exactly.
whether it's you or garbage. So you will have to do something to chase the bear away. You can't just sit there, everything's going to be all right. It's not going to work. So likewise, if you're failing in a business, if you're failing at a job,
Yes.
you can't say everything's going to be all right or everything is okay unless you do what you're supposed to do with the job, or unless you do what you're supposed to do, in your business, or like you mentioned, perfectly mentioned, cancer, healthcare. If you're going through a problem, you will have to see a doctor and take medicine. You can't wish it away positively, right?
Yeah, that's correct. To me, positive thinking it's always deeply connected with taking action. Now, the power of positive thinking sets you up for success, but when it becomes toxic or poisonous, so think about a workplace. Think about a workplace where people might be stressed out, depending upon the nature of the business, and now you have the person that walks along as the cheerleader, like, "Come on, everybody, it's okay, rah rah rah." And I can tell you, I've worked with these people; they're annoying. It's annoying, and it actually increases the stress level because there's no value in it. It just seems like empty platitudes. It comes down to the people that think that being an inspirational, motivational person comes to just taking and putting inspirational quotes all over the internet. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Those things have their place. But when we're trying to get something accomplished, whether it's a life situation, whether it's a situation in business or in work, like, the power of positive thinking is certainly there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to engage the laws of attraction. But what we're doing is we're inviting positivity into our life. It is not saying that, oh, hey, because I tell you, hey, FQ, I know you're having a bad day, but buck up, little camper. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's very surfacey, and it comes across as very, very inauthentic. And they're very, very annoying, and they create a lot of stress in the workplace. That I can tell you for sure.
You made an interesting point, and I'm forced to think further on with this. Being positive to somebody who needs to take action.
Yes.
One, we said, the other person is going through adversity. And you say everything's okay, that's just, that's lame. But unless you tell them, hey, listen, everything will be okay if you do certain things, that is important, instead of just saying everything's going to be okay. So you're basically encouraging them not to take action. So that is also another extended problem with this.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. It certainly can be.
The other person's screwing up, and you're basically saying, oh, everything's. Case in point, we're going through this Corona thing right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of governments in the world, I will not, they're more than one, they're telling the people everything's, going to be okay, it's all right, go back to work. So instead of telling people that, listen, guys, you got to be scared, you got to do something, you have to protect yourself, you have to take care of yourself. Instead of that, these leaders are saying, it's all right, go and get infected and get killed.
Right. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and it comes down to when you look at the person just saying saying everything is going to be okay, it's really just a way to kind of deflect or deny what's going on right then. And so it even for the person that's being overly positive, it's toxic to them because it is so not based in reality at all. And now you're setting yourself up to fail, because if I think, oh, you know what, I think every day all I'm thinking is I won't get corona, I won't get COVID, I won't get corona, whatever we want to call it, and then you get it. Now what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I can't have the power of positive thinking like I hear everybody else talk about? So I think in some ways it really kind of sets the person up that's trying to be positive. If there's not a pragmatic approach to it, it really sets that person up to fail as well. And not even just in expressing it to others, right? Because now others are annoyed with the positive person. Now the person that's being positive feels down about themselves. And they, so it really is a way to deflect or deny what's going on in reality at that point in time. So it's very, very toxic if it is not based with a pragmatic approach. It must be based in reality, and it has to be connected with some sort of actionable item.
I want to add another word, not just pragmatic, because they mean slightly different. Also, you have to be practical about it.
Absolutely.
Pragmatic is having the right analysis, understanding what's going on, but you have to take practical steps. You have to be practical, objective. So summarizing on this, I would say that, it's, yes, the law of attraction, yes, I believe in it. The power of positivity, I believe in it. But you cannot just rely on these things. You have to take the necessary actions. You have to evaluate your situation, your adversity, your problem very objectively. Take the necessary and essential steps, be it in the mindset, be in your practical actions, be it in your life, relationship, business, wherever. You will have to do what is necessary to solve the problem before you can assume that your problem will get solved.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. And yes, so that really the power of positive thinking, it comes in when we are applying it to a certain context. And it comes in when we are being practical, pragmatic. That's my term that I like to apply. But practical is extremely important, because if all you're doing is reading a book or listening to something inspirational, I mean, so I'm just going to come out and say it. If what you're doing is saying, oh, I just believe it's going to be this way, that's great. You're just daydreaming. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. It comes down to daydreaming and wishful thinking. Whereas the power of positive thinking truly comes in by being able to reframe and challenge a belief system, like, I can't do this, but I can do this. So by having positivity in our minds, really what we're doing is we create opportunities and options for ourselves. Whereas when it becomes toxic, we eliminate choices. We eliminate choices for others. We eliminate choices and opportunities for ourselves, because what we're doing is we're trying to tap into a daydream or simply wishful thinking. Combined with practical steps and taking action, I mean, the potential is unlimited. Absolutely unlimited. So yeah, absolutely. This is a great topic.
Thank you for mentioning that. Before I close, I'm going to add that, yes, there is something called the power of negativity as well. Dangerous power, negative power of negativity. But negativity can destroy. But yes, if you take a pinch of negativity and throw it into your positivity, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
So you have to look at the flip side. It will be okay, but on the flip side, it might not be okay. And then if you evaluate your options correctly, take the necessary steps, as Dennis said, then the potential is unlimited. So yes, power of positivity is great, but you have to be pragmatic and practical about it. Until next time, thank you very much.
Thank you.